Our next inductee, Dr. Gerhard Herz, distinguished himself as an internationally recognized scholar of Johann Sebastian Bach, introduced generations of students to the intricate world of classical music, and helped put the city and the University of Louisville on the map for music lovers around the world. Dr. Gerhard Herz, world-renowned scholar and beloved teacher, was inextricably involved in the musical life of the university and the city. Born of a Jewish family in Dusseldorf, Germany in 1911, Dr. Herz obtained his PhD from the University of Zurich in 1934. Shortly afterwards, he escaped the Nazi regime by immigrating to the United States with the help of famous humanitarian and music lover Albert Schweitzer, who greatly admired Hertz's scholarly work. He spent 9 months in New York learning English and trying to find work. In 1938, after making connections through the Louisville-based Flexner and Brandeis families, and Schweitzer, who wrote more than a dozen letters of recommendation on his behalf, Dr. Herz took a faculty position teaching music history at the University of Louisville. Once settled in Louisville, he was able to facilitate and finance a narrow escape from Germany to America for his parents and 3 siblings, John, Werner, and Laurie. Dr. Herz helped shape the musical life of Louisville and the university for over 40 years. He founded and chaired the Music History Department in the College of Arts and Sciences in 1956 and remained chair until he retired as Professor Emeritus in 1978. In addition, he co-founded the Chamber Music Society of Louisville and served on the Louisville Orchestra's board for more than 20 years and the Louisville Bach Society's board from its beginning. Dr. Hertz's reputation as a scholar, combined with his tenacity, helped Louisville enjoy some of the world's finest musicians. In 1959, at the height of the Cold War, Dr. Herz brought Dmitri Shostakovich, then the leading musical figure of the Soviet Union, and now one of the most celebrated composers of the 20th century, to Louisville as part of Goodwill Tour. He also succeeded in bringing the world-renowned Budapest Quartet to Louisville. Dr. Herz showed his love of teaching in countless university seminars and public library music appreciation sessions, where he is known for his humor and his vivacity. One former student called him this dynamo. He didn't lecture, he acted. Although those in the field of Bach studies might disagree, Dr. Herz stated with characteristic humility that I am, quite frankly, a better teacher than scholar. I have an enthusiasm, an almost irrepressible enthusiasm, when I lecture on music that excites me. Dr. Hertz's influence extended far beyond UofL and Louisville. He was a founder and the first chairman of the American chapter of the New Bach Society, now the American Bach Society. His scholarly investigations were legendary. A colleague noted that Dr. Herz, quote, basically tracked down every scrap of paper that had anything to do with Bach that existed in this country. He produced significant volumes on several Bach cantatas and other choral works. In 1984, his 400-page book, Bach Sources in America, was published in both German and English. This unique reference catalog of Bach sources from over 20 locations throughout the United States took years of painstaking research. As the current Secretary-Treasurer of the American Bach Society stated, every scholar working today in this field knows Gerhard Herz's reputation and his writings. His many publications attest to his careful scholarship, his love of Bach's music, and his keen and insightful understanding of Bach's works. His sister Laurie very much wanted to be here, but had to send her regrets. She has been very gracious in sharing her thoughts and memories of her family life, and in particular, of her brother Gerhard. Although we are sad she could not make it, we are thrilled to have here both Dr. Hertz's nephew and Laurie's son, Don Kingsley, and Dr. Hertz's niece, Katie Hertz. They will receive the honor on their uncle's behalf. We are pleased to present the A&S Hall of Honor Medallion for Dr. Gerhard Herz to them now.
Thank you for the honor you bestow upon my brother Gerhard. I appreciate your note, Dr. Ramsey, your kindness and generosity, Dr. Hudson, and I thoroughly enjoyed the many telephone talks with Lindsay Ronay. I wish I could be there and meet everybody. I will keep this speech personal so you will see the other side of Gerhard. My three brothers were 6, 9, and 12 years older, but I vividly remember that our house in Düsseldorf, Germany, was always filled with music and laughter. My parents, and especially my mother, were very musical, and we, luckily, all inherited it. Shortly after Hitler came to power, there were laws that Jews could not attend a school or university after they were 16 years old. Gerhard went to Switzerland to get his PhD. He was the first of us to leave Europe and arrived in New York in 1937. He learned English, and with his Leica and equipment for developing photographs, he went all over the city, thinking if he could not get a professorship, he would make a career in this field. Through the help of Abraham Flexner, Dr. Bernard Flexner, his brother, Dwight Anderson, the Dean of the School of Music in Louisville, Danny Brandeis, and the many letters of Albert Schweitzer, the University of Louisville hired him. One half of the $2,000 salary was paid for by a committee in aid of displaced German scholars, the other half by the University of Louisville, which Dr. Anderson later said, "This was my best bargain ever." My brothers John and Werner immigrated together in 1938. John, also through Abraham Flexner, got a job at the Institute of Advanced Studies in Princeton, and later was well known as a political scientist and worked at the State Department during the war. Werner joined Gerhard in Louisville, found a job soon, and later owned a store called the Fabric Shop. I was sent to an English boarding school. My father, a retired judge of a criminal court, did not want to leave. He had a pension and no money in any country, and did not want to be a burden to his children, but I saw the fear in their eyes when I visited them. On November 9th, 1938, there was a pogrom. During the night, synagogues were burned, Jewish businesses destroyed, younger men sent to concentration camps, including my future husband, and drunken SS men, Nazis, broke into our house, threatened our father, and broke glass and furniture, piercing silver and paintings, and cutting through warm clothing. They also cut the strings of our grand piano. My father knew that they had to leave. They had a low quota number, and they were allowed to take furniture and some belongings except for silver jewelry or money. In the spring of 1939, their steamer docked in Southampton, England, and I joined them. We landed in New York and soon went to Louisville. I went to a business school, and after 9 months got a job in a law office. We were all living in a large apartment and soon had many friends, and music and laughter was with us once more. I loved Louisville, but after getting married there, we moved to California. Our family was very close, and my parents, and later my mother after my father died, spent every summer with us. My brothers liked my husband so much they made him an honorary brother, and of course they loved our sons, Don and Roger. After my father died, Gerhard and his wife Mary Jo Fink, who was a professor of French at the university, built a house with a small apartment for my mother. I can only say how grateful I was to Gerhard, helping his siblings whenever they needed him, and taking care with Mary Jo, our mother. So I am very honored that the university has chosen to honor my dear brother, and I'm grateful that my son Don and his wife Myra, as well as my niece Katie, are there to receive this award in my place. Thank you.